Like fellow Americans, we stand at a critical moment in our nation's history, facing a situation that tests our commitment to democracy, unity, and the rule of law. The recent deployment of 700 active duty Marines to Los Angeles and the federalization of the National Guard without the consent of Governor Gavin Newsom is not just a policy decision, it's a challenge to the principles that bind us as a nation. Today, I speak to you, the American people, to propose a path forward that serves our shared interests, protects our communities, and upholds the values we cherish. This is a dangerous and potentially explosive situation. Governor Newsom has called the deployment of Marines to face their own countrymen un-American and a step toward authoritarianism. Local leaders, like Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, have made it clear that our local law enforcement is fully capable of maintaining order. Yet, the Trump administration, through Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, claims these actions are necessary to protect federal officers and buildings. We must question this justification and demand clarity, for the presence of federal troops on our streets risks inflaming tensions and eroding the trust that holds our communities together. Here is what I urge you, the American people, to do. First, demand de-escalation. Call on the Trump administration to immediately withdraw the Marines and return control of the National Guard to California. History shows us that deploying federal forces without a governor's request is exceedingly rare, used only in moments of clear crisis, like protecting civil rights marchers in 1965 or responding to the Los Angeles riots in 1992 at the state's request. Today, no such crisis justifies this overreach. Use your voices through petitions, calls to your representatives, and platforms like X to insist on peace and restraint. Second, call for dialogue. We need transparent, good faith negotiations between the federal government, Governor Newsom, and local leaders. A bipartisan mediation panel, including legal experts and community voices, can bridge this divide. Reach out to your senators and representatives to press for this dialogue. Let's resolve this through conversation, not confrontation. Third, support the rule of law. California's lawsuit against this deployment, backed by legal scholars, argues it violates federal law and our Constitution. Stand with those challenging this action in court. Support organizations like the ACLU, share their updates, and join their advocacy efforts. The law must guide us, not political agendas. Fourth, empower our communities. In Los Angeles, protests have turned violent, and fears of immigration raids have heightened tensions. Organize grassroots efforts, community patrols, know your rights seminars, and dialogues to keep the peace. Support local nonprofits and faith groups working to protect vulnerable populations, like our garment workers. Their actions can show that our communities are strong enough to resolve conflicts without military intervention. Finally, demand transparency. The administration must provide clear, evidence-based reasons for these deployments. If the claimed threats to federal officers and buildings are real, let them show us the proof. Write to your officials, demand public hearings, and use your platforms to ask hard questions. We deserve answers, not ambiguity. Like fellow Americans, this is not about politics, it's about who we are as a nation. We are a people who value freedom, who trust in local governance, and who believe the military should not be turned against its own citizens without dire necessity. Let us come together, across party lines, across communities, to de-escalate this crisis, uphold our democratic principles, and protect the safety and rights of every American. Join me in this call to action. Raise your voice. Stand for unity. Together, we can ensure that our nation remains a beacon of democracy, not a battleground of division. Thank you, and may we move forward as one.